So, good morning, everybody. I think should we wait for 2 more minutes just the people join, or we can start? Yeah, okay. See, my name is Ramesh. I am with Cyient now. Cyient is, for the people who don't know about Cyient, it's an engineering design services company. It is 25 years old company. Recently we celebrated our Silver Jubilee, and we have around roughly around 14,000 people in 38 locations in across the globe. That is just to give a brief idea of what is Cyient, and of course we are the diamond sponsor for this event. So thank you very much for giving an opportunity to put our thoughts in this area of automotive disruption. So okay, so I have we have divided this presentation into 4 areas, like one is the digital disruption, and the second one is the key drivers, and the third one is the diminishing borders and monetizing the opportunity. So the whole categorization of this presentation is more of what is available, what is currently today, and what is available as an opportunity or as a threat, and how can we commercialize this as an opportunity. That is the whole idea. So being automotive or disruption is a huge topic. We may not be able to cover everything in this 30 minutes time, but I just want to open the topic and everybody start giving their thought process so that we can answer any questions, or we can take up that way. So we see now earlier any industry for that matter is more of a mechanical, and slowly they have started digitalizing and they are moving into electronics. Even for the sake of information, the Cyient is also initially they started more of a mechanical aspects of any product, whether it is aerospace, whether it is medical, whether it is consumer, or whatever it is. But now, I mean, since 2-3 years we have started really looking about our product in terms of electronics building, and so that we can build a total end-to-end product. That is the whole idea. So this slide, what I would like to explain is that there are a couple of areas how the automotive industry is getting digitalized. For example, hardware. So in the earlier days, or in the previous days, the most of the product centric was happening on a mechanical rather than electronics, but the hardware, the PCB design, and all MOQs, what we have been talking from since 2 days, all BOM, bill of materials, and all these things will come into this picture, like advanced sensors and corner modules, and all these things will come into this hardware space. The second one is a driver train, which consists of electric motors, EV vehicles, and power electronics, and advanced batteries. So how we can how the industry is getting digitalized by electric vehicles is something which we would like to touch upon. And the industrial design is other area where how the bodies, automotive modular bodies, advanced user interfaces are getting digitalized. See, if you look at the bottom of the presentation, we classified this as into 3 areas. One is with the different colors. One is the vehicle hardware, which is color in blue, which is related to hardware. Second was in bit of yellow, alternative business models, how this disruption in the industry is causing are changing the stakeholders has to change their business models, how they are impacting. Third one is the software part. So for example, I'm touching entertainment platform. So we are talking about mirror link, infotainment, and home entertainment experience, and all these things. There, in those areas, the different stakeholders, whether it can be OEM or Tier 1 or Tier 2s, they want to change their revenue models or business models, or that is what it means. So if you look at data analytics, it is a more of a software part, how we can use the data, and how we can, for the sake of connected cars and all these things, how we can use the data analytics part. Rest of the things is more of alternative business models, which we will talk about. So any questions on this, because this slide is more of will tell you more entire thing about this presentation. Any questions on this we would like to take, and then we will take it forward. Yes. Okay, thank you. So looking at the timeline, the automotive industry has been moved from nothing to where we are currently. If you look at between 1960s and that area, if you remember that they are talking about a GM. GM is a OEM in automotive. They talk about DAIR system. DAIR system is driver aid and information and routing, which is much before than GM OnStar. So that was the kind of an R&D era which happened in very 1960s somewhere way back. So then the next era started in an embedded era, which is to give you an example, it is much more on GM's OnStar, and that is a kind of an example which we can just map that timeline. Now, if you look at 2000s and 2007 and 2012, there is more of infotainment era where players like Harman, Bose, whether it is home entertainment or automotive infotainment on all these things, this Ford, these are all this is the time where the infotainment got really different heights, and they put their thoughts. So what is happening now is V2V and V2X, and this is the time where every in the supply chain, the different stakeholders are putting their investments and all these things. Any questions on this? Maybe or any thoughts from your side, so that we'll see. You want to share with us? Okay, sorry. Yeah, vehicle to infrastructure is something V2X is talk about, and see, to connect the vehicles or connectivity area, when infrastructure has to be established to support the V2X or V2V. So the kind of an infrastructure is data part, mobility part, connectivity part, and IoT part. This is something V2X is talk about altogether. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, please.
What about the inflection of robotics onto the automotive world? For example, autonomous car.
Yeah.
It's a little different from the V2X.
Yes.
When do you think that autonomous era will come in the near future?
So in our research or in our findings, whatever we have done so far is something which it is a bit more, it will take some more time. See, first of all, we are, at least as a company, we are more focused on automotive, autonomous driving and connected cars than robotics. I think, see, we work on robotics as a different division within Cyient, but we see around 2030 or something which we can, it is a guess, that's all. So it is whether it don't have any logical base. So in my opinion, if you ask me 2030, even in India at least, we are talking about 2030 for autonomous driving and all these things. That is where we are. But the whole reason what we, in this kind of an event, we would like to put an awareness and understand the people start working in a different areas of these dots, so that it will get connected in a much more bigger way. Yeah. So yeah, in the previous presentation, if you look at, we talked about infotainment era. So I would like to touch upon bit few things here, because that is where we were. So what is that we were earlier? So there is a different kind of a systems in infotainment. One is an intelligent systems and safer systems and convenient system. That is more infotainment system talk about. What is intelligent system? So that in industry where infotainment industry is moving to different heights with the big data and analytics, and if you want to relate to safety part, which we talk about NFC, near field communication, and M2M, and communication to the outside world. So the last thing is a convenient part, where when in the vehicle, in the car, if you sit and if you want to relax and see enjoy your entertainment system, that's where that is industry is also moving into a different heights. That is the whole information which I would like to give. So the message is that infotainment is becoming much more experience in the car than previous days. That is the whole idea. So the next part is that there are few key drivers. I don't want to really touch each and everything, but very few things which we would like to touch upon is that like key drivers like connectivity, mobility, and smart manufacturing, and these are the couple of things which we would like to touch as a key drivers in the automotive disruption. So the first one is mobility. maybe I think nowadays the people are talking about lot about this mobility part, because consumer behavior is shifting towards shared mobility because of these reasons. One is affordability. I think I don't see nowadays, at least the people really stop talking about owning the car, or to some extent. So because of Uber, Ola and all these things, it's affordable and high maintenance cost relatively, and inconvenient parking. Areas like Bangalore that is the biggest problem, and lifestyle needs being met by mass transit. I mean that the public transport is getting really more different convenience part, and the environmental concerns like pollution and all these things. Due to this, I think the customer is really looking at mobility part, kind of a ride sharing. These are the kind of an opportunities available in this area. Carpooling, most of us, I mean, when suppose I stay in Whitefield and I work in Electronic City, but most of us, I mean, we go by carpooling instead of going by our own transport. That is the whole idea of where we are moving. That opens up a lot of doors for different stakeholders in the supply chain. So maybe, see, if you look at the bottom line, I think by 2030, the mobility market will grow in a huge, bigger way. That is the we got from numbers from Automotive Revolution perspective 2030, which has been surveyed by IBM. We have just to give a credit, and McKinsey also, they have done some survey. To give a credit to them, we put we took this data from those research reports. So another one is the electric vehicles. So this is going to be another area or another opportunity for all the stakeholders in the supply chain, like tier 1s, OEMs and everything. So I mean in India, it is not really taking up the way it is expected, but in other regions like Europe and all these things, it is really getting a different scale. So there are beautiful, I mean there is a lot of opportunities, like if you really very small players are entering in the globally into this area, because of it will take some time, and by that time they have to get that ROI and all these things. That is the reason very small players instead of big players are getting into this space. So if you look at if you can provide the better price and better range for electric vehicles, I think that will be a big success factor for this electric vehicles space. So third one and important thing from Cyient perspective is autonomous driving, because we want to really invest our money and time and all these things in this area, because in going days we are really looking at a lot of ideas to put to work together in a cooperation way as partners, and we are looking at working maybe when acquiring and all these things, but kind of an opportunities what we look at is all ADAS space. There is a lot of opportunities in automated systems like braking, cruise control, and parking and vehicle to V2X area. This is the areas where autonomous driving is opening up new opportunities. So on an average, one study will tell that autonomous driving will open up the opportunities by 2030. I think that is the expectation or the industry study as on today. So any questions on this so far? Maybe I'd love to answer that. Okay. So another key driver is the connectivity part. So again, it is connectivity is again IoT and data connectivity part and Bluetooth and all these things. The opportunities are bundling connected car packages with the new car sales and providing innovative customer services as a result of revenue sharing models. This point I would like to touch, because I see lot of it. I mean difficult situation for OEMs in the coming days, definitely, because today if you look at they are really safe. I mean from their revenue model perspective, they are safe. They are in a safe hands. They are making a car and they are selling and they are getting money. I don't see that is going to be consistent in the coming days, because I don't every player like Amazon, Google, and companies like us, like tier 1s and tier tools also going to play very bigger role in this autonomous cars, then definitely the ownership of the cars, the model of the ownership of the cars is going to change. So that definitely put particularly OEMs into a difficult situation where they have to relook at their business models, so that what kind of business models they look at it. I don't think they are in a very comfortable situation in going forward. That is what my study, or whatever we studied. So this is what even recently AutoSense conference happened in Europe, Belgium. So when a few of our colleagues attended, and this is the kind of feeling we got it from the industry perspective, from stakeholders. I want to touch that point as part of this connectivity and autonomous driving. So, okay, another key driver is smart manufacturing. The reason why I would like to touch this point is, being a company, Cyient is, of course, it is a design engineering services company, but recently we acquired few manufacturing facilities like Ranksons and Techno Tools are a few companies we acquired, and the whole idea of acquiring those companies is to move from services to product realization. So, that is the reason why I would like to touch this point is disruption in automotive industry, in particularly the driver smart manufacturing, will open up a lot of opportunities in kind of an advanced robotics and 3D printing and VR, AR and XR. So this is, if you look at advanced robotics, so again it will related to IoT, but the timelines definitely has to be predicted. I think there is not much of research happened that area. Any questions on this key drivers part? Yeah, please.
In terms of infrastructure, what needs to change for ADAS?
Yeah, okay. See, if you look at ADAS is not a new. I think today also most of the cars either in India or globally have an ADAS features. But the change what is happening today is, okay, before coming to this question, I want to touch upon AUTOSAR, because I don't see most of the OEMs, at least a few of the OEMs are still in a process of migrating from classic or non-AUTOSAR to AUTOSAR, their platform software. So in that connection, the change what is happening is, recently AUTOSAR consortium has released specifications for adaptive platform which supports these connected cars and autonomous driving. From the technology perspective, that is the biggest change which has to implement it. It is in the form of a specifications as on today, but it has to be implemented and delivered, and product has to stack. It has to come in the form of a stack. So if that happens, from the technological perspective, I think that will kickstart ADAS in a very high-speed ADAS features. So, is that answers your question, sir? Yeah. Okay, so looking at all these key drivers and all these things, we would like to, this is again, we got this data from one of the research reports. So driven by shared mobility and connectivity services, this is nothing but whatever the key drivers we have discussed so far. So see, this is what is around 30% revenue pools. There is revenue pools increase will be around 30%, which is going to touch around 1.5 trillion USD. So this is one. The message is that there is a huge market potential for this automotive disruptive technologies is the message here. So diminishing borders. Diminishing borders is, I would like to touch this, where we are in the automotive spectrum, who are the different players, and who are the new entrants, how they are impacting the system or disturbing the system in my way, if you ask me, and what is going to happen here. So this is what is this diagram we will try to explain. If you look at establishing suppliers, we all know that in automotive we have OEMs, tier 1s, tier 2s, vendors, everybody. So they are working in a different zones, and finally they are coming up with the product in some point of time by 2020 or 2018 or whatever it is. That is the kind of a supply chain where we are working today. So there is a mobility providers like Uber, Ola, Jeepcar, blah blah car, and these are the people who are just waiting for an opportunity, and I mean they are playing a very crucial role in this industry. So that is the mobility providers and OEMs, new OEMs, even Tesla. If you look at, I mean, specialty to Tesla is that they are coming up with in a bigger way. I mean, this is a very good initiative, or from the automotive perspective, that these are all small players. Even China market is coming in a bigger way, that finally they may cause for reduction of the prices and all these things. This is a good way, which is in emerging OEMs. And we are looking at I mean, since 2 days we are talking about how Apple and Google will really impact this, because they want to. I don't think tomorrow if Apple will have their own car with all the autonomous driving and all these things, it's not a surprise. I think that is the kind of an disruption. The technology is giving an opportunity for these kind of players like Apple and Google. So this is the kind of a system where we are in, and this is the kind of a disruption, this is the kind of an opportunities different stakeholders in the supply chain are getting now.
Just one question.
Yeah, please.
Disruption, which company do you think is the biggest disruptor amongst all this in the automotive space, according to you?
Is that OEM you're talking?
No, in general, this entire spectrum of companies that you have listed down here.
No, company name I may not be able to give, but definitely OEM, all OEMs will get impacted.
But who will be the biggest disruptor? Who will create that biggest disruption?
No, actually it is not that way. I don't think if you look at disruptor is more of these guys. Apple are mobile providers, tech giants. See, if you look at established suppliers, I think they will be effectors. So if you look at emerging OEMs, they are the receivers. I mean, they are going to receive the either fruits or good or bad. So if you look at these people, technical giants and mobility producers will be the most disruptors. So I think they will create a disturbance. Yeah. Okay, so sorry for this slide. I think we could not able to see anything. We tried our level best to put our thing. The whole idea is see, the boundaries are fading. I mean, there is no boundaries. With this kind of automotive disruption, there is everything is getting disruptive, and there are a lot of opportunities are opening up, and ecosystem is getting impacted. And with this kind of a situation, the future is going to be a co-opetition. Co-opetition is that competition with cooperation. That is what it is. I mean, that is what is going to happen. I don't think it is going to be the same situation where the people work independently, like, okay, I am the vendor, I am the OEM, you are the tier one, and I want to get it done from you. I don't think that is going to happen, because every stakeholder will have their own pie in the entire product. So everything is crucial. So co-opetition is one thing which is going to happen in the coming days. So how can we monetize this opportunity? This is an opportunity in front of all of us, I mean, as a companies in front of us, but how do we monetize, commercialize this opportunity? So there is one study which McKinsey has done this, and I would like to touch this, because how this is going to impact. So as I have already touched, the ownership of the car models will getting changed. Because of that, by 2030, this study is impacting the share of the car sales, new car sales will go down. The share of the new car sales will go down, and the recurring revenues will go up. That is the kind of a pictorial representation which I would like to get from this report. So I think the reason is that high maintenance cost, and what kind even autonomous driving and all these things will really require a lot of maintenance cost. I don't think people will can afford in coming days to maintain their own car with all these features. That is so this is the ecosystem with a kind of new car sales will fall down with the recurring revenue models. Okay, so as a Cyient, what we are doing at Cyient in this automotive space is something which this slide I would like to explain. So we are, as I have mentioned, is a design engineering services company. We are working on FPGA verification, board design, and ASIC development, and these are the design areas. Of course, we are not put the areas like ADAS, connectivity, cars, and because we have just started recently. To be honest with you, it is not that we are. I mean, we have 100-member team. It is not that. We have started recently very small team to start with some kind of a POCs in the areas of adaptive platform software development and all these things. So in the other thing, build design, our philosophy is design, build, maintain, and digital is something which is I put for the sake of automotive. Otherwise it is a design, build, support, or maintain. So build is a kind of a manufacturing after once the design is complete, and we would like to support both prototype as well as mass production. So maintain, of course, is a post-sale support and maintain that product and warranty support and all these things. Not only product support, but maintaining the design documentation and the artifacts and all these things. Coming to digital. We are trying to create a digital software creation, and Amazon Web Services integration with IoT is something which we are going to start working in the coming days. So yeah, this is the few points which I would like to put in front of all of you, so that you can share your thoughts, and the message is that this is the opportunity we are getting because of the disruption, whether it created by the mobile providers or the technology companies, but it is an opportunity for all of us as an entrepreneurs or as an individual, I mean as an individuals. So we have to play our role in this area to make the things better. That is the whole message I would like to give. And for any questions on all these things, please feel free to maybe get in touch with us. My email ID, and I've given my contact information. Before closing this, if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer the questions, please.